Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose here with Jessica Bun Bun, and this is our Teacup Season 1, Episode 7, and the finale reaction and review. We've made it, guys. We're all heading out and out of our little wilderness here. Is somebody about to drive up out of nowhere and knock a couple of people up against various objects in nature?
I am very curious to hear how everybody is feeling about this show overall.
Yeah.
This show started out really strong. It lost the script kind of in the middle. Episode 5 kind of regained its legs a little bit. There was so much potential here with this show,
Yeah.
honestly. It had a great cast. It was a little bit too big of a cast,
Yeah.
but it had a great cast. It had a great idea. And then it just got lost in this affair that just went on for episodes and episodes that just didn't make any difference to the story at all.
Yeah.
And they crammed in just too much with the aliens that needed more time to breathe. I love a good alien story. Like, it is some of my favorite just storytelling that's out there. I love the alien movies, but this just didn't work for me. I really wanted it to. I mean, we made it to the end here, and I'm leaving this finale where I'm kind of like, if this comes back for season 2, I don't know that I'm really that excited about it at this point. I thought there was going to be a lot more with this show. The idea was so good.
They would really have to sell me on season 2 to get me excited. Because basically, the first 2 episodes were very good. I'm not afraid to say that. Like, I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. 3 and 4 were a disaster. Like, they were so bad. They were all over the place. They did not give me really anything that I cared about. I know a lot of people online were really turned off by the aliens in general.
Mhm.
I'm pro alien. I like it. I just think with aliens in general, I want to understand more of why they're there. I want to get a better sort of understanding of the lore, the mythology. I'm a nerd like that. Give me all the alien stuff. 5 and 6, like they were better than 3 and 4, but they still weren't really setting the world on fire. I think these 2 episodes, the final ones of the season, they're the best ones that Teacup has done, in my opinion, since the first 2. There was a lot packed into them. Like, I at least felt fear for a couple of moments in these episodes. Like, there was action and drama, the stuff I've been wanting from this show since the beginning. It just might have come a little too late for a lot of people out there that were kind of thinking that this was going to be what we were going to get.
But before we go any further here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because even though Teacup is over for now or forever, we don't know yet
Yeah.
at the time of this recording, we still have a lot of other great horror shows going on here at the channel with From, and we're covering Before over on Apple TV. And then we'll also have Silo and Dexter coming up in the next few weeks. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick with us.
Also, be sure to join our Patreon. We got a link in the description below. Exclusively over there, we're covering The Penguin right now. And then moving into next month, we have 2 other very big, high-profile shows that are coming, including Dune Prophecy on HBO, and then also Landman, which is coming to Paramount+. It's a new Taylor Sheridan show with Billy Bob Thornton, John Hamm, Demi Moore. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up there, and we're covering those shows exclusively on Patreon, so check that link out in the description. And thank you so much to everyone who is supporting us there.
Okay, we're going to start this video off with the beef hat.
Oh, right away. Okay,
Yeah,
all right, here we go.
right away.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
I think my biggest beef with this show is that the bad alien just can't ever be killed. That there's no way to actually kill this alien. You can kill the body that it's in, but you can't actually do anything about them. They will just move into another body. I know that there's this whole like, oh, you can drown them out sort of thing, but it doesn't really seem to end them. They just move into Scott Speedman, and then they're just now sitting in a freezer. Like, there's just no way to really stop what's happening here. So it's kind of like, okay, if there's no way to stop it, then
Yeah.
what is kind of the purpose here? You're just going to run forever?
It really just feels like this show had some interesting ideas when it comes to, okay, here's this evil alien entity that you can't really kill, who can transfer into other people, so you don't know who to trust. So there's a sense of tension
Yes.
and paranoia. All that is really, really exciting. But I think the biggest problem that I have with all of this, beyond just the fact that, okay, yeah, this alien cannot seem to be killed, is just that I still don't really understand a lot in terms of what they want, why they're on Earth in particular. I mean, they've given some very vague details, but at the same time, if the entirety of this show is built on these aliens, and if you don't know if you're going to have another season, you have to at least give us a reason to care about why these aliens are there and why we should be threatened by them. I mean, yeah, I'm always going to be for, I would rather see the aliens, even if it's expensive and you have to get CG, or just get some really good practical effects. And, you know, Doctor Who does this all the time. And yeah, sometimes it's cheesy or whatever, but I don't have any problem watching some Daleks or some Cybermen. I would take that over just having body snatchers for the entire season. It's just because we don't have any sort of grounding into what's really going on with these aliens, I find myself just sort of floating around in this TV ether, not really still understanding anything.
They are not explaining really what is going on with these aliens. It
No.
really is the biggest problem. They could have pulled out all this affair stuff
Yeah.
and actually started to give us background on what is going on. All we know is that the good alien is the key to turning on some machine, which is going to
Yeah.
start some sort of invasion. That doesn't sound good. So they're the good alien that's going to start some sort of invasion on Earth. How are they the good alien? And then you have the bad alien that's here to stop that person from turning on the machine. And it's like, okay, well, they're the bad alien, but they're trying to stop an invasion. So it's kind of like, who is the good alien? Who's the bad alien at this point? But also, like, what is really the motivation of this? Why are they starting an invasion or turning on the machine to start the invasion? Has something happened to their planet?
Yeah.
Why are all these bad sleeper agent aliens all over the place that are being woken up now to deal with this? Like, there's not enough information on the aliens. And if you're going to tell an alien story and that's what it's about,
Yeah.
then you need to really explain to us why they're here, what the motivation is, instead of giving us this kind of like broken alien language of like run, hide, murder maker. I'm like, okay, that's all fine at the
Yeah.
beginning, but we're at the end now and we still don't know what's going on by the end of season 1. That's not good.
They basically just handed us this bizarre meal of food, and we're asking, oh, what is that? What meat is that? What kind of pasta is that? And they responding with yes. They're just not giving us any real clarity on anything. And maybe to a certain extent that's acceptable, but I don't think it is once you get into a high concept show that's episode 8. And it's not, this isn't Lost. This isn't a show where things are being intentionally mysterious and you get some sort of insight as to, okay, this is going to be paid off whether you like it or not a little bit later on down the road, or what we're dealing with From, because they've already given us the answer on this show as to what it is we're dealing with. There's not a mystery in that sense. It's just you're not giving any sort of background or understanding. It's, oh, here's this rainbow colored liquid, maybe you guys should drink it. Oh, what makes this special? Just drink it. It doesn't, there's no real answer behind anything other than just, okay, this is happening. You guys just have to accept it. You have to deal with it. Oh, and here's 20 minutes on an affair too. And it's just like, this is not the stuff that I really care about. Yvonne wasn't on 24 very long. They had this 24 Live Another Day show that she was on when Kiefer Sutherland was still there. And she was awesome on that show. And like that, she's qualified in being sort of this action heroine. And I would have loved to have seen her do more of that other than having to like do this emotional upheaval of her marriage with Scott Speedman and Valerian, and just sort of like, what are we doing here, guys, when you have people who are capable of doing other things?
I wish that this show was about the alien hunters and not about the family. And it pains me to say that because the casting for the different families was great. They didn't, it was too big. There were too many people, not enough time
Mhm.
on what needed to have time, way too much time on the affair.
Yeah.
But if that one episode, I think it was episode 5, where we learned about the alien hunters, where they were kind of trying to like figure things out and try to like, dive deeper into it. If it was about that group of people that were trying to find the sleeper aliens, the bad aliens and the good aliens, and try to figure out how they're going to be able to stop what's happening, I would have been totally on board of that. I found that episode to be the best episode of the season. I got the most information out of it. I found I had the most tension out of it, which is saying something for me because I mean, we did have the whole blue line, the
Yeah.
sign, whatever, but the alien hunter was there, McNabb was there, and it's all sort of about, for me, him and the group of people that are trying to stop this from happening or trying to help the good aliens with the invasion. Like it's they're way more interesting. And I think that if the show had focused on that, then that would have been it for me.
Yeah, like that idea would have been great because I mean, we've all seen shows about people hunting various supernatural entities. I mean, heck, the show Supernatural went on for 10 and a, like 15 seasons or something
Hmm.
crazy like that. I mean,
Yeah.
there was so much potential there. And I know that coming out of this, the world of Teacup is expanding and we're going to see more of, I guess you could call it the extended Hunter universe. And a lot of that with the wild card and all this other sort of great stuff. But it's just sort of like, okay, how much are we meant to care about it if we've only spent so much time with it because all of our other time has been spent instead, like over here?
Yeah, I mean, we have this big cliffhanger now that, the wild card that got kind of kicked out of the group by
Yeah.
McNabb and they brought Travis in instead has shown up here at the end being like, follow us, we have answers. And you have Maggie being like, who are you? Like, what is going on? And for a cast that's already so big to bring in even more people, like it needs to be whittled down a bit.
Yeah.
I know they left Ellen at the farm with James, who's in the deep freeze. Scott Speedman will still be with the show if it comes back. I
Oh, okay.
feel like Tinfoil Hat.
Yeah.
They left Ellen there with her son, who is dying in this deep freeze. I know it's not actually on or whatever, but he'll suffocate in there. She's gonna let him out. Like, it feels like she's just not gonna be able to allow her son to die in there, and she's going to let him out. They're not gonna let Scott Speedman go. I know he's doing other stuff, but this is a short show. It was all taking place in one place. I think they'll be able to get him back if they came back. I don't think that the show is coming back. I just feel like it was very purposeful that if they're going to leave somebody there with James,
Mhm.
you don't leave his mom. His mom is not going to let her son die that way. You leave Ruben.
Yeah, there were some errors in strategy that went along with this. Like, could I see Scott returning for another season? Sure. If he's not available, could they figure out some sort of way to write him out? Maybe temporarily, sure. Maybe you just don't address what happens and then he magically turns back up in a season 3. You can do
Right.
whatever you really want with him at that point. I mean, yeah, I think they clearly, though, left it open ended enough just so that if they do want to bring Speedman back, they have an opportunity. I will say this. I did enjoy the very brief amount of time we had of Scott Speedman bad guy because I'm so used to him being just sort of like either the handsome guy or the somewhat likable guy or the maybe I have some sort of dark secret. I mean, Animal Kingdom to me is probably the closest we have to evil Scott Speedman, but even then his character was pretty complicated.
I really liked, for all the beef I've had,
Yeah.
I really like that they had both of the parents in such a dark situation
Mhm.
where they've got their daughter under the water trying to be able to get this alien out, but also then bring her back, which they
Yeah.
did. And it was still kind of like, okay, they went through all of this and it still didn't work. It's just like, I think it just needed a little more clarity on how do you actually stop these bad
Yeah.
aliens? How do you stop them from just moving out of a body? Because they don't need a body. They've explained that they could have just hitched a ride on a meteorite and came on down here. They don't need a body to live.
Yeah, they needed to at least give us some more backing so that we could feel even more emotionally invested in those moments. Because yeah, the entire sequence with the daughter Meryl, the back and forth as to what to do in that moment, even the aftermath of it, seeing the alien transfer from one person to another. Even we had this like Nicholas and Meryl like little love story that was playing out, but then they end up getting the alien, and I all of this to me was really good. Like this was the best part of not just this finale, but arguably the whole season, is we have like, who's the alien gonna jump to next? Oh, there's actual danger. There's stakes now. There's like things to really worry about. It's paced quickly. For those 10 minutes, I was like, here we go. Let's do this, Teacup. And it was only 10 minutes.
I really wanted to feel that, but because it was Valeria that had the bad alien in her, and she was just a couple feet away from Arlo in the last episodes, I just have a really hard time believing any of this, because this bad alien just mows through people to get to Arlo, to get to the good alien. There was no reason that Valeria, the bad alien, is feet away from him and is not just mowing everybody down to get to them. McNabb explained that when he was facing the bad alien that took his daughter, like everyone was mowed down to get to his daughter. Then you have now this bad alien that's just kind of like, I'm just going to wait it out. I'll just wait it out. Oh, I'm just up here bringing up a cereal. What is happening? Like, why is this bad alien playing a long game when they don't need to? They have just Nicholas, a teenager with a hammer, sitting in front of the door. That's not going to stop the bad alien. We watched Scott get shot. Like this hammer and this teenager is not going to stop this. So why did the bad alien just sit on it for no reason? And that was my biggest beef with the end of this season. I just didn't get it. There was no reason for this.
You are correct. I think I was able to accept parts of it more just because at a certain point I was no longer thinking logically. I was just like, you know what? At least they're doing something now. I can get on board with them doing something. But yeah, none of it really makes that much sense. Like even obviously the person you're going to kill is one of the people involved in the affair, and the other person who may die is the other person who was involved in the affair.
Nobody feels bad for you people.
It was just really, it was like, okay, we know we have to kill somebody. Let's kill the people who the audience will not care if they're dead or not. That was just so unbelievably obvious. Like if they had actually killed the daughter, that would have been something where we would have had her, or what little hair I have would have been blown back on my face. I would have just been like, wow, you guys really took that swing. But they went the very predictable reaction with the deaths. And I can't say I'm shocked by that. I just feel like coming out of this, there were some ideas that it had that were good. There's not a lot of times where I'm like with The Idol, where everything associated with the show is just pure garbage. And I don't think I have not brought up how much I hate The Idol in a very long time.
No, you haven't.
On this channel, it's just whenever I see a show that has bad moments, I'm sucked back into that complete disaster that made no sense, and they were making it up as they went along. Like here, there were good moments, and it's just that because of that, I had expectations that were very much not often met, and I just come out of it feeling disappointed in that way. Like even in these final episodes, I saw what Teacup was capable of. It just, it had a couple of, I don't know, a little bit of good tea in there, and then they just mixed in a lot of bad tea that just kind of leaves you feeling like, what did I just taste?
Yeah, no, this show wasn't it for me. It had so much potential. It started off on a really good footing, and then it just, I don't know, it hit the curve and it just didn't come back.
Yeah, and like we've kind of touched on, I don't know how many people who worked on the show as actors necessarily thought, oh, for sure this is coming back. Yeah, they filmed it probably in a short period of time, but Scott and Yvonne, they both have other jobs. I know Doesn't matter
Yeah.
so much now because it's dead, but the actress who plays Valeria is on NCIS Origins, so everybody has a lot of other things happening.
They do, but clearly they want another season because they
Yeah.
left a huge cliffhanger at the end of this that they're like, we're not done telling this story. But I feel like they're done telling this story. I don't know how this show comes back. Like the amount of people after episodes 3 and 4 that were kind of like, this, I'm done with this. And
Yeah.
even Scott Speedman had come out and was just kind of like, hey, if people get to that season, that episode 5, everybody's going to be okay, kind of thing. Like it just feels like they knew that there were some problems with the show.
Yeah, and I'm curious how many people stuck with it. I'm curious what you
Yeah.
guys thought about these final episodes. What would you have changed? Would you want to watch another season? Like if they come out and they're like, Pedro Pascal is in season 2, I will be waving the teacup flag up and down the street, but I don't think Pedro, but that my point
He
is
would
that,
never come do this trash. I said what I said.
okay, well, I think there are ways they could get me more excited. It's just for right now, I'm not there after what we saw in season 1.
No, if they come back for season 2, I will be shocked.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You guys in the TV world, you have shocked us before, but this would be a pretty big shock. But
Yeah.
for now, let us know what you thought about these final 2 episodes. What would you want to see in a season 2? Share in the comments, and you can also be sure to subscribe for all sorts of other coverage. We are doing a lot of horror themed programming right now, like From on MGM Plus before on Apple TV Plus has some creepy elements. Also Silo coming up very, very soon.
Sweet Pea.
Oh, another really, really great show. And you guys can support us further by joining our Patreon. We got that link in the description below. The Penguin is happening exclusively there right now. And thank you to our patrons for your support. We'll see you guys here next time.